Well, good morning, everyone. Got some folks that are coming on in. You can find your seats. All right. Well, good morning again, and welcome to the 2025 State of the University Address. I am Todd Haymore. I am Rector of the VCU Board of Visitors and a member of the VCU Health System Board of Directors, and I'm honored to be here in person with you today and also appearing virtually via our live stream. My sincerest appreciation to everyone who is here in the room with us today and also to everyone who is joining us via the live stream. Thank you for your time and interest in VCU. I also want to extend a very warm welcome to my fellow members of the Board of Visitors and the Board of Health who are here today. Dr. Dale Jones from the Board of Visitors. Dale, thank you. Haim Barjwa, Dr. Haim Barjwa, two doctors here today. Thank you for your friendship, your dedication to VCU, VCU Health, and the commitment that you show each and every day to this wonderful enterprise. I do appreciate you all being here today. And the State of the University Address is more than just a speech. It is a celebration of VCU community as a whole. It's a chance for us to reflect on how far we have come over the last 12 months and a time to celebrate all the amazing things that we're achieving together. I'm also very proud of our story is so well known and clearly appreciated by so many. As some of you may have read over the last few weeks, a recent survey of Richmond area residents showed that an astonishing 92% of respondents believe that VCU is driving important innovations in science, technology, and healthcare that improve people's lives on a day-to-day basis. This result, in my humble opinion, is a testament to the tireless work of our faculty, researchers, caregivers, staff, and obviously our students who are contributing so much. And just as important, I believe it's a tribute to the well-earned bonds and trust that we have developed with the residents of the entire Richmond region. And I know I speak for both boards when I say how proud that we are to serve in our respective roles on the Board of Visitors and the Board of Health. Indeed, we are deeply committed to providing governance and support that ensures VCU remains a place where opportunity and success thrive for all. Speaking of thriving and successes, VCU, under the leadership of President Mike Rao, has soared to new heights. And I'm not going to steal the thunder, but the president's going to share some of those with us in a few moments. President Rao's vision over the last 15 years and the work by so many across this entire enterprise has transformed VCU into a true powerhouse, a powerhouse in education, a powerhouse in research, and a powerhouse in healthcare where excellence and accessibility are stressed each and every day. And most importantly, again, in my opinion, VCU is shaping the future of what a public research university and a health system can and should be. So with that, and without any further delay, it is my great honor to introduce an outstanding leader and my close personal friend, who I consider the greatest president in higher education in the entire country. Let's give a warm welcome to President Mike Rao.
Good morning. It's very good to be together with all of you. And I'll obviously begin where I like to begin, which is with heartfelt gratitude to every member of the VCU community. Because as I think about what I'll share with you today, I recognize that a university really is its people. And VCU has extraordinary people. You know, words really cannot capture the depths of my feelings of gratitude for our dedicated VCU teams. Thousands of people caring for so many other people who are part of this mission. For their compassion and their resilience, I'm thinking about things like a few weeks ago when we lost water, the well-being of our students, our patients, our care providers, and so many others, again, came first at VCU. I also ask that you take a moment to join me as well as you had joined Todd in thanking the members of the boards who are here. Todd, you have been an incredible leader. I know you were chuckling a little bit as you were talking about the greatest president in higher education, which isn't possible, by the way. But in any case, thank you. Dedication has been incredible. And to the board of the directors of the health system as well, and the board of visitors, you've been unbelievable supporters of this mission. You know, today is a day that I don't think anybody really anticipated until the morning. And I would ask you to take a moment to mourn the victims of last night's tragic plane and helicopter crash that just happened in Washington, D.C. Thank you. You know, our conscientious and caring members of the faculty and staff and students, you've done something that really has made such an incredible difference. You know, when I think about 2024, our faculty, staff, and students, because of your conscientiousness and your deep, caring sense of other human beings, you really made it another year of exceptional growth and progress in achieving a mission as a public research university that's really very complex. If you think about all the things we do, it's just tremendous. Our 2023 freshman class was our largest on record. Many of you have heard that before. And then building on that, fall of 2024, which just passed, was also top tier. And these students are, by the way, succeeding at VCU, most importantly. We're attracting more motivated, hardworking students now who are on track to complete their degrees on time. The other thing is our master's, out-of-state, international enrollments are also very much on the rise. And that's an important part of our mission as well. But all of this is really because of our dedicated faculty and staff who are doing an incredible job of delivering on our mission to support the success of all students. I say all because we are a public research university. And the way that my colleagues are doing this is through engaging teaching and learning experiences. And very importantly, professional mentoring and advising. It's such a critical thing because we've been around so long and our students depend on these relationships. Expanding research and experiential learning. We're a research university and it should be at every level, undergraduate all the way through to every other level. And to everyone involved, thank you for creating such a positive and supportive college experience at VCU. You know, I have to also say that it's also because of our donors and development officers and development who helped us have another banner year of giving, much of which supported so many more student scholarships, taking the burden away that we need to take away. You know, first generation and Pell students at VCU are really on the rise, and that proudly makes VCU very rare among public research universities and rare among research universities, period. Thanks to VCU, people from every background are achieving the American dream at a research university. What makes this country great is invention, innovation, and entrepreneurship, and that everyone has the potential to be a part of that. VCU is really made for hardworking, motivated people so that they can succeed and create the next generation of what I'll call world citizens because they have such incredible global views. You know, I was struck by an interview with the New York Times columnist David Brooks recently. He said something that I found really interesting. He said that IQ may matter, but it's not everything, and he actually said it's not the most important thing. Let me see what he said exactly. He said, what really matters in a person is, are they curious? Are they good teammates? Do they have a passion that will allow them to drive through difficulty and achieve their goals? And so I really think that Brooks is right. Behind most success that I see is motivation. the ability to work together with other people, curiosity, and passion. And that is what I see in abundance in VCU students. And for that matter, I see it in our faculty and our staff as well. I see it in our alumni all the time. Our alumni are succeeding in ways that we can't even begin to capture. Their stories are amazing. And so as I think about 2024, it was a strong year in many, many ways. Our provost and innovative faculty, they led an academic repositioning that continues into 2025, and that's helping to strengthen and better align our academic units. These are necessary, important conversations. They're probably hard, but they're necessary. They also led an effort that resulted in VCU succeeding in our reaccreditation with no recommendations for improvement. That doesn't happen very often. So I want to say thank you to the many people at VCU who made this happen. In 2024, we broke ground on the Athletic Village. It was just not that long ago, as a matter of fact. But it reminds me that collegiate athletics continues to be a really important window through which more and more people look that raises the awareness of the impact of the academic enterprise on society. And this is a good time to say congratulations to our VCU teams for winning 6 conference championships. And, by the way, our student athletes posted our very best semester GPA in the history of athletics. We also broke ground on the VCU CoStar Center for Arts and Innovation, which is a needed space for our nationally ranked School of the Arts. I want to say thank you, of course, to the Commonwealth, to our state, to CoStar, to our Vice Rector, Andy Florence, to all of them for their generous support. And of course, thank you to our CFO and her teams for making this such a successful launch. VCU Health had another record year. Strong bond ratings, putting us up in the top 20% of rated healthcare systems nationwide. It's a really good place to be. It's a rare place to be. Our combination at VCU of complex care and research is exactly what sets us apart. Thanks to our healthcare leadership team for moving our health enterprise forward. We're very grateful to all of you because this is not easy work given the complexity of our healthcare mission. VCU is chartered as a major public research university, and as we know, it's a mission to support the success of all of our students and all of the people who come into contact with VCU and who are part of VCU. So the question comes up to everyone's mind, how are we preparing for a future that's changing so fast? Which are the kinds of changes that we're getting ahead of, and how are these changes affecting how we prepare students to be critical thinkers and thoughtful contributors and problem solvers? Problem solvers as they face new challenges of the future. There are a lot of new challenges of the future. We see change all the time. These are long-term shifts that have been in motion for a long time. I recognize that people's minds are on possible changes that we're hearing about now at the federal level. And I just want to assure you, a team of university leaders led by our provost they're overseeing our review of those changes. And as we get more clarity about verified impacts to the university, we'll start communicating that information. You know, it was last year that the World Economic Forum published a timeline of human technological advancements. There was, of course, the invention of the wheel. There was the first known forms of writing and the first evidence of agriculture, a fundamental foundation for all of us. And a handful of technological innovations over what was really thousands of years. But just think about it. In the past couple of centuries, innovations have come faster and faster and faster. And many of the most life-changing inventions have actually come from universities. Just think about it. The first retractable locking seatbelt that saved thousands and thousands of lives. The first small battery-powered pacemaker. The polio vaccine, penicillin, the discovery of DNA, the internet. How can we forget the internet? All of this within the last century, and the ones I mentioned are from universities. The pace of human technological innovation has really increased dramatically. Think about it. Our ancestors really, they could have lived their entire short lives using the same kinds of tools and technologies that were available when they were born and when their grandparents were born. That's not the case today. Many of us in this room were alive before the internet and cell phones became even close to popular. And now, just think about how they've changed the world. So I ask you to think about what's going to change by the time that a baby born today becomes old enough to go to college? And what will change by the time this year's freshmen become seniors and graduate in 4 years? Well, VCU is adapting to these changes and even creating so many of the changes that we see in society and in terms of technology. Let me just talk about 3 major impact areas. One is how our research drives innovation. Another is something I feel strongly about, and I know students feel strongly about, and parents feel strongly about. How do students get professional experiences that help them get ready for their careers? And then, how is VCU preparing students for a world that's driven by emerging technologies that are changing all the time in all kinds of ways? As a major public research university, we do the research at VCU that helps advance the changes that we need to improve people's lives, often to save people's lives, and cancer, cardiovascular research. How do we do that? The impact of this research on people's lives and societies is exactly what gives our work such meaning. We're committed to that mission across the entire enterprise. And I want to say this very carefully so that you hear what I'm saying. Most certainly, this must include research in the arts, in the humanities. I talked about this last year and probably years prior. I feel strongly about it. The arts and humanities are absolutely key to shaping our understanding of each other and the world. We have to understand the context in which we live. It's not about things, it's about us. It's about human beings. And oftentimes I will tell you that scientific research, it can be valuable to just a few people, or it can be valuable to a lot of people. I can tell you that my observation over my life is that it is interpreted best to the broadest audiences through the arts design community and the humanities community, because they're talking about it, they're connecting us with it, they're helping us to understand it. And it's because of our research commitment and therefore our faculty. Our research is our faculty. Universities are a major reflection of our faculties. By the way, 11 of our faculty members are in the top global 50 in terms of each of their fields. And this is one of the reasons, our faculty is the reason that VCU is now ranked in the top 50 by NSF of public research universities around the entire country. And as you know, as a faculty, you've set sponsored research funding milestones every year, and again this year. And thank you to all of you and our research teams as well. Thank you. So if I'm going to talk about research, I've got to also mention a couple of other folks. I got to mention the postdocs, who are an essential part of our research engine. We have a very large number of postdocs at VCU, and they're critical to us. Our research discoveries lead to impact on so many people's lives, like the nerve tape that you've all heard about. This is what's reconnecting severed nerves when there's been a trauma or some major accident, invented by a VCU researcher. And now this tape is being used in surgeries and repairs, if you will, throughout the country. It's working, and it's important, and it's making life a lot better after you heal. The impact of faculty-led discoveries at this institution is at an all-time high, and I'm so proud of all of you, my faculty colleagues, and the staff members who support us all. We owe it to all of the people who benefit from our research to push it to the next level. And that's a big message that I'm sending today. So what that means is that focusing and prioritizing appropriate research at a research university for our research mission is critical. It's supporting our faculty's role in research, innovation, and creativity, all of the ways that we perform what we call research, and conscientiously attracting more of the nation's and the world's top researchers to VCU. It's both. And the other group I want to recognize is our staff. 20,000 people throughout all parts of VCU who keep this place moving, who keep us all moving. We always need to stop and say thank you to our staff. Our staff are incredible. They are so committed to this mission. Thank you, staff. So positioning our research for the future is going to mean creating a lot more interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary teams that can really dig into multiple contexts of the problems that are the most vexing to society and helping them to understand and solve the problems that we've got to solve. Many thanks to my colleagues engaged in these things called convergence labs in key areas to support transdisciplinary research, and also forging experiential learning opportunities for students at all levels, including undergraduates. It's really important that we integrate all of our students at all levels into our research mission. Otherwise, why do we have a research mission? You know, that makes me think about something that we've been talking about, and you've heard about it. Every Ram's a Researcher. It's an initiative that now has about 5,500 undergraduates counted, engaged, and about 2,300 graduate students participating in research at some level. I have to tell you, that's only a starting point, though. We all know that we have more than 7,000 or 8,000 students. So we've got an opportunity here to take it to the next level, and I'm asking us all to participate and give everything we can to making that happen. You know, I really enjoyed this fall a number of opportunities I had to talk with some of our students about how they view research and the impact on their education. And some of them are here today, and I'll point that out in a moment, and you'll see them on the screen. Let's just take a minute to hear what they had to say. Let's play the video. What are your thoughts about research and being at a research-based university?
Coming to a university that, advertises its research aspect, I think, really drew me to this school.
I personally want to do my sophomore year as well, getting into like a VIP project, which is a more in-depth research for computer science.
I find research to be a fascinating kaleidoscope of all the information that's available. It allows you to not only find yourself in the experience of others who have done these experiments, but you can find new things that can then help others do more experiments.
One thing about research is it always leaves you with a few more questions than you had in the beginning.
It gives you a perspective of contributing to the field instead of just learning about it. It excites you. It makes you more motivated.
Very cool, and thanks to all of you, not only for being here, but for doing these interviews with me. So think about it. Research experience benefits students in so many aspects of their careers, and I will say their lives. We're developing the next generation of really great thinkers, inventors, innovators, and problem solvers. And this is exactly what our country and the world need. We all care deeply about students, and this is exactly why we've dedicated our own lives to their success. It's why we now have to think beyond their graduation toward their professional careers. It's becoming really clear that students who have professional experiences while they're in college, they're much more likely to get jobs in their fields after graduation. There's tons of data that proves that. Our transformative learning experience at VCU has now reached the goal of requiring every VCU student to have at least one learning experience working in an internship or a faculty-led research project or a problem-solving experience with industry or with faculty members. So the idea is that students are leaving VCU with their degree, but also the relevant experience to help them get jobs appropriate for a college graduate. I talk to employers all the time, and they tell me that's exactly what your graduates bring. They're ready to roll when they get to work with us. And as a result, more VCU students are getting hired in some firms than graduates of other schools. So let's take a moment again to look at a video that talks with some students talking about what they think of internships.
What do you think about having an internship during the time that you're in college?
Having an internship will give you real-world experience and other very valuable information that would be able to make you do better in your classes, give you new and better ways to figure out what you want to do.
I think that they should be required in like every aspect of the college because internships will help lead to actual at least a work experience before you actually leave college, as well as gives you a sense of actually do I want to do this?
Do you think it's a good thing that every student have an internship as part of their four-year degree?
It gets the students the opportunity to get their feet wet and just dirty and just get to practice what they learned in class and throw that out into the world and show off their skills.
Yeah, I am a hands-on learner, so the more opportunities like that I can get, the better for me, honestly.
So when you go to internships, you go inside and know all the technical stuff that's going to help you in your career.
And I saw some of you covering your faces. You did not need to do that. You did beautifully on this video. You're stars. So here's what we've learned. I had not just the videos, but we had lots of different meetings with students this semester. And what we found is that students definitely want internships and career and professional experiences. They made that very clear. We don't need to be convinced of that. We know it's important. But what I learned is that it's not always easy for them to find and match up to the opportunities that exist. So while it appears that there aren't enough opportunities, I have to tell you that what I'm getting when I talk to employers, including alumni employers, is that they're saying they don't see enough students for internships or even jobs. And so that's what's calling on us to really help ensure that there's greater alignment between our institution and the employers. So going forward, no surprise, we're going to use VCU's position in the state and well beyond, throughout the Mid-Atlantic and beyond, to connect with employers of all sizes and engage them in supporting professional experiences that our students can get access to. It's going to make it easier for everybody. Many of our students, by the way, are also interested in entrepreneurship. A very large disproportionate share of VCU students love the concept of entrepreneurship. They love getting their experience and guidance on how to build their own brands because they're very creative. So through our world-class Da Vinci Center at VCU and other pathways that we're creating all throughout the institution, this is where VCU has a really great volume of experience. Students can benefit from that experience as part of VCU's own brand that they have now created at this institution. So, this wouldn't be complete if I didn't talk about artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is here. It's going to continue to evolve. As a research university, we have the ability to really help drive this new technology and be part of the process as it grows. Additionally, I think we kind of have a responsibility to help our students understand its impact and give them the tools that they need. And finally, we've got lots to learn from our students about AI. We find that out every day since they've been using it in many cases in deeper ways than we have. And that's really what's happening throughout the institution. I asked a few more students about AI, or some of the same students, I should say. So let's take a look on the video at what they had to say.
You like AI?
Yeah, I do a lot.
What do you like about it?
Some people don't like it, some people hate it, some people love it, some people think it can be the future.
Yeah.
And I agree with all those as a whole.
Okay.
Because the potential for it is just infinite. It's based on how you choose to use it.
And I try to remain as like open-minded as possible, but everything I see it keeps steering me towards a negative reaction towards it.
If AI is predicting something, you should take it as a suggestion and draw from that. Until you have like very robust quality assurance of what they are predicting.
AI is evolving very fast to have a powerful impact in the near future by increasing the efficiency and also reducing the error.
If I don't understand something, it may be able to help me better put things into words, or help me with like a math problem that I'm not able to figure out myself.
We're the ones that are actually shaping AI into what we want it to be. So it's really how us as a people want to control it and shape it to move into the future.
And so thanks to many of our colleagues, VCU launched a new minor in artificial intelligence. We wanted to make sure that any student from any area, no matter what level they are, major, could get coursework and experience that they need to understand and use AI. So many of our students may never need to write code or understand the mechanics that underlie AI, but they're gonna live in a world with it, which means that they need to understand it and how it can be helpful in automating tasks where it is useful, and also understand the challenges that they need to understand about it. Our students talked about that beautifully. And this is why our minor includes a philosophy class on the ethics of AI, teaching students how they can assess a system and pinpoint ethical questions. It's so popular that several of my colleagues, Professors Jamie Fritz and Frank Ferris, had to open more sections to accommodate more students. And then there's Erdem Topsicle, who teaches practical artificial intelligence. And he says that out of 150 students in the course this last fall, he said it was actually 85% who were not engineering students. And this is, of course, in the engineering school. They were from the arts, humanities, music, psychology, and on and on and on. Large numbers of students from other areas. So VCU faculty is, again, using and talking about AI in all kinds of courses. William Song, who runs the medical physics program, is using AI to develop algorithms to solve specific problems in medicine, like generating treatment plans. Earlier, I mentioned that convergence labs are becoming a means at VCU to bring expertise together across different disciplines to focus on a single issue and to bring focus to that issue. And we're creating Convergence Lab around AI for the public good. That'll launch this spring. And while VCU students will be prepared for the changing technologies of the future, our alumni, I mentioned earlier, they've got to be included as well. We're committed to serving our students, not just when they're here, but after they graduate as well. We want this to be a community of all of us throughout your lives. So this summer, we'll launch a new initiative, and it's actually called RAM Recharge Unlimited. So what it is it's a free online module for our alumni. In the first class, of course, be no surprise on ethics and artificial intelligence, which is perfect. And it is the most interesting to our alumni at this point. When the provost's office put out a call last year to help create the new AI minor that I've been talking about, it was interesting. He told me that there were 140 faculty members, 140 of our colleagues who responded from throughout the institution. So to all of you listening, thank you. That's exactly what we want, exactly what we need. Faculty-driven initiatives, that's what we need. So shortly, yes, please. In just a minute or two, I'm going to invite a couple of my colleagues to join me in these beautiful chairs up here. in a conversation about just what VCU is doing to help prepare students for AI, but also more importantly, the why. I think the why is important. But first, let me say before I sit down, thank you to all of you for being here with us today. 2025 will be a year of great focus on our core missions and great accomplishments in each one of these contexts. Student success is number one. It is critical from my standpoint at every level. This, of course, includes recruiting students, preparing students for a changing future, graduating students on time, and launching our students into their careers. All of that. Also, supporting and recruiting our faculty to advance more research that impacts more people's lives. That's our mission, and that's what we need to be doing. Providing complex care driven by our advanced research and innovation that allows us to save and improve more lives, promote human health. We've got an incredible opportunity with all of the disparities that exist out there. And of course, preparing the VCU community for ongoing changes and challenges that are going to happen throughout the rest of our lives. VCU is, as I look at those giant letters in the back, it is absolutely uncommon. It's a major public research university that's just made for people from all backgrounds who are motivated and willing to do the work that we need to be successful as a society and, of course, individually. People who are driven to innovate and invent. I say the word invent so many times because that's what I see at VCU. I see inventors. I see people who are thinking all the time about how to make the world a better place. People willing to use their ingenuity and passion to achieve not just their goals, but goals that we all share. People who never stop being curious. And as David Brooks said, these are the things that really matter. That's who we are at VCU. So my heartfelt gratitude to every member of the faculty, the staff, our students, our alumni, our partners, our supporters, everyone who touches this innovative institution for making it an exciting, forward-looking, and caring institution. Thank you. And now, Elaine and Frank, come on up. Let's see if I can get this right. Thank you for taking the time to be here today and also for all of the time you put into everything that you have done to create an experience for our students that I found when I was at a meeting this week earlier. Wasn't it this week? Yeah, it was. We were at the UIA, yeah. We're the only ones doing the things that we're doing, and these are really innovative institutions. It's why we're part of that group. So we have Elaine Reeder. Elaine is Director of Curriculum Development for VCU Online. She designs the online programs and teaches in the arts and mass comm area. She completed a postgraduate program at UT Austin called AI for Leaders, and she's part of the VCU team participating in the AAC&U Institute on AI pedagogy and curriculum. And then my colleague Frank Ferris, who is a philosophy professor, and when the provost's office asked for colleagues to propose these new AI courses, Frank and Jamie Fritz, who I mentioned earlier, proposed the Ethics in AI course. And Frank actually had a chance to teach the very first courses this fall, 2024. So thanks for doing that, and we're looking forward to hearing from you. I'll start with Elaine. And your role has been to develop our response and course offerings related to AI. And so what I wanted to ask you is, why is it important for VCU to offer AI courses and to infuse AI into our curriculum outside of computer science or engineering? And how have we approached developing all of this? And how's it going?
It's going great. I think if you ask most people, where should AI be in a university, they'll say computer science and engineering. But that's not the world that we're living in. AI is everywhere. And as you mentioned, It's in healthcare, it's in business, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So we needed to infuse AI in every learning experience so that every student had an opportunity to get their hands on it. I think...
and you've seen the interest. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're flooded with interest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not just about using it, it's about finding new ways to do things with it, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Elaine. And Frank, I want to get right to asking you, having developed these courses with Jamie, tell us what the courses focus on and how students are responding and why you think it's important to offer AI in the ethics context. Some of the students who I interviewed that you saw on the screen, some of them were part of this, and I found their answers to be much more focused on the ethics than the technology. And it was really interesting to hear some of the things that they said, like the idea that AI is a suggestion and then you need to really work with it. But tell us where this all came from and how it's gone.
Yeah, thanks. Our goal when we made these courses was to future-proof our students, right? We could have talked about existing AI technologies and what's happening right now, but it's more important, I think, to prepare students for what they're going to see in the future. And I think giving a philosophical foundation does that, equips students with ethical sensitivity, critical thinking, and intellectual tools that are going to prepare them for whatever comes. As far as the course itself, right, Jamie and I worked on building the first version. Other faculty members have taught other sections. So you can take it a variety of different ways. Lucky for us, AI is an ethical minefield, right? So there's lots of different directions you can go. For my part, I prefer depth over breadth, so I tend to focus on issues of privacy because I think whether you work with AI professionally in your future or not, we're all living in a world in which AI and our data is having implications for privacy and other broader societal issues. So I think it's important to bring that to students' attention. And as far as the response, it's been overwhelmingly positive. As you mentioned, there was such a demand for the classes that we had to open another section.
Yeah.
And we're starting a pipeline now. Students who take the Ethics of AI course can also take an upper-level philosophy course on the philosophy of AI that earns them a micro-credential in the ethics and philosophy of AI. And we're starting to see students come back this semester for the philosophy of AI class that were really enthusiastic about the philosophy of AI course.
So you probably agree, or I would assume you'd agree with my statement earlier about the importance of the arts and humanities in the interpretation of pretty much anything that might be invented, right?
Absolutely. We can't predict the ways in which AI technology will change. All we can do is cultivate a philosophical foundation in our students that'll prepare them regardless of what the future looks like.
Yeah, no, that's really, I really appreciate that very much, and obviously I'm strongly in agreement. So for both of you, I wanted to ask you, how would you describe VCU's approach to AI compared to other universities and colleges? Because you must be talking with your colleagues, Elaine, in the online space throughout the country and looking at what you're doing versus what they're doing. You were at UT Austin and had some experience with that. Course of your own. And then, Frank, I'm certain you're talking with professors who are your colleagues in other places as well. So either of you or both of you, just tell us how we compare. What are we doing that's uncommon or different?
Well, I know as in my director role, I've been talking to a lot of universities, and there's like 3 different camps, I think. There's the universities that are still debating on whether AI should be part of education. And then there are the ones that have really jumped right in to AI, but they're keeping it in the STEM majors. So I think what we're doing that's unique is that we are extending it and we are putting it into all the learning experiences. So I think that makes a big difference. And that's why so many students, I think, are going to be able to have their hands on it here at VCU.
And the curriculum and curricular and pedagogical approaches that they're taking versus ours, the development, sounds like we're involving a much broader range of our colleagues.
Well, we're working with faculty to put it into like their learning experiences, their teaching experiences. So faculty might have an assignment that has AI in it. And we work with them independently so that it fits into their discipline.
Sure.
It's not like an extra thing. It's actually something that's built into their teaching and their discipline.
Sure, sure. Frank, what are your thoughts about what you're seeing as a difference between our colleagues and other places in here?
I mean, I agree with a lot of what's been said. What distinguishes VCU, I think, is putting philosophy, at least from my perspective, at the core of this AI initiative, right? When my chair asked me to develop some courses on ethics and philosophy of AI, and we learned more about the AI initiative here and how philosophy was sitting at the center of it, I thought to myself, yes, finally someone gets it, right? VCU sees what I've known all along, which is that philosophy is central to AI, both in its application and ethical and philosophical issues, right? So I think that distinguishes us from our peers in placing philosophy at the center. A second point is the breadth of offerings that we're presenting, right? There are 4 credit offerings for our students so that they can all be engaged with this material. There are so many paths to, as you mentioned, allowing them to engage with AI, both through the practical AI minor, through the courses that we offer. We're going to be offering a new philosophy and AI concentration through the philosophy department, so a new major.
Very cool.
And beyond our 4 credit offerings, we have non-credit offerings for members of the community. And the RAM recharge that you mentioned, we're going to be offering opportunities for alumni to be able to engage with this. So we're casting our net wide, and philosophy is right at the heart of it. So for me, this is doing things exactly as they should be done.
Yeah, no, this is a great story, and it's a great story of how VCU is really ahead of so much of what's going on in higher education. That's excellent. And then I guess the question that then follows, Elaine and Frank, is, so what do we expect to be next? What's coming? What are you thinking about? What do you see as you're doing all of this? Are the gaps or the things that, in your minds come, to the fore in terms of thinking about, oh, we really need to do this, or we really need to be prepared to do that?
I can start. So again, I think, first of all, keep doing what we're doing, right? While other universities will emphasize the technical aspects or business applications, keeping the philosophy of AI at the center is going to be crucial. Secondly, I think we're on the right track with trying to touch as many members of the community as we can, right? Beyond course offerings for students, anything we can offer other members of the community, adult professionals, even when faculty members go and give talks or sit on panels elsewhere in the Richmond community, we're sort of doing what we need to do to establish ourselves as a thought leader with regard to AI. And I think if we can keep that up and keep our students prepared at a foundational level rather than merely scratching the surface through superficial treatments of the applications of some technology or other, I think we're going to be doing our students a great service for the future.
Awesome. It sounds just right. It sounds just VCU. Elaine, what are your thoughts?
I think we need to continue to move AI across the curriculum so all students have access to it.
Yeah.
I also think that we need to think about AI as a way to launch us into changing how we share knowledge and how we assess knowledge. I think AI is going to be kind of that push that we need to change the learning experience.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a real lot of sense. Before I conclude this, any other final thoughts about AI or any pitches you want to throw out there to advance what you're doing or encourage people to think about what you're thinking about?
No pitch, but I will say, having established ourselves as a thought leader on AI at both a regional and broader level, I think part of the responsibility that comes with that is modeling responsible AI use. So I think that's what we've the burden we've taken on now is at being at the forefront of this AI issues. So it's not just about how should I use this tool, but it's about seamlessly integrating AI into the curriculum thoughtfully and transparently in a way that makes clear how we can use these tools to benefit us rather than maybe seeing them as a crutch or how we might otherwise construe them.
Excellent. And do either of you have any thoughts on how we could better use AI in our, not just in an academic context, but as an institution, in ways that might help us make experiences for our students easier? We're doing some of it, but what are any thoughts on any of that, Elaine?
I have a pitch.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'd like to get more faculty that are engaged in doing this and exploring and feeling comfortable taking risks and also challenging themselves. I'd love to have more people come to LED Studio. That's the learning experience design studio. But we can help you to just dip your toes in, or we can help you come up with new creative ways to use AI in your classroom.
And so, Elaine, it's a lot of fun. It will give you a sense of renewal like you've never felt in your life before.
Yes.
Working with you will give someone a chance to learn things they've never learned and find out things that they never knew they were capable of doing.
Exactly.
So I hope I helped with your pitch just a little bit.
Was good.
But in any case, very exciting. And VCU is just that, very exciting. And it is what it is because of what I told you when I walked into the room earlier and we had some private conversation. You all are awesome. You are. I mean, it's an amazing place because it is a reflection of our faculty, our staff, our students, our alumni, and all the people who support us. Thank you very much. Two great representatives of the VCU community. Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. And to all of you, thank you so much for joining us today. And we look forward to the great things that will come in 2025.
Mike and the team, thank you. I will just close by thanking you again for your leadership. Also want to thank the faculty, staff, researchers, students, alums, donors, everyone who is here today, everyone who has participated in making the State of the University address come together so well today. Thank you for being here as well. It is going to be an uncommonly great year in 2025. So I want to challenge everybody who's here today, who's watching online, to go out and make it happen. Thank you again.